It's now my honor to invite to the stage Jim Grube and Jeff Thomsen.
Thank you, Aaron. It's an honor for me to introduce Jeff tonight into the Hall of Fame, and it is a joy, as always, to return to Middlebury. A special warm welcome to the Thomsen family tonight. It's been a pleasure to be with you at dinner. There are three elements, I believe, to selection into the Hall of Fame. One is records, accomplishment, and talent. Jeff's records and accomplishments speak for themselves. One stat, though, tells the story. Jeff is 17th in the history of the game of lacrosse in the NCAA record books for career total points at 311. In 2011, the best NESCAC attackman in the last 25 years, DJ Hessler, surpassed Jeff in career points with 321. Hessler played in 75 games, Jeff played in 52. Of all the top 25 scorers in the history of the game of lacrosse, Jeff has played the fewest games. More than pure statistics, his understanding of how to play the game is brilliant and amazing. Sort of the Wayne Gretzky of lacrosse. Eric Kemp recalls Jeff running down the sideline, lined up to be drilled by a body check. Jeff casually rolls the ball down the field, steps out of bounds, and the opponent flying through the air. Jeff steps back onto the field, scoops the ball up, and executes a fast break. Dwayne Ford and cousin Dan Thomsen marvel at his moonshot. Jeff would be in close on a goalie, crank up, and then loft a 3-mile-an-hour change-up, lofting slowly directly over the goalie's head. Roy Giarrusso recalls Jeff backing into a defenseman, fading away, and then using the defenseman as a screen to score a goal. Dan Thomsen again tells of Jeff turning the corner on the goal, having absolutely no angle, and scoring by ricocheting the ball off the side of the goalie's helmet. The second element, and more importantly, is teamwork and leadership. I contacted many of Jeff's teammates. Their thoughts, their feelings are all the same. John Burchard and Doug Dixon probably said it best: respected and loved by his teammates. His high-quality character, easygoing way, and dedication to the goals of the team. He is a fierce, talented competitor, and yet he was always one of the guys, and perfect gentleman and sportsman. Third, and to me, what sets Jeff apart is his pure love of the game. On the foundation of previous middle players that Richard Moore, Fred Beams, Will Graham, Roy Heft, Dwayne brought before him, Jeff's family legacy to the game of lacrosse is his enduring gift to Middlebury lacrosse. Jeff's grandfather, Ferris Thomsen Sr., is a charter member of the Lacrosse Hall of Fame. He coached at Gilman, Penn, and at Princeton 2 national championships and 10 Ivy League titles, still holds the record for 14 goals in a game. Jeff's brother, Peter, an All-American and captain at Williams. Jeff's uncle, Len, an All-American at Princeton. Jeff's cousin, Dan, was the captain of the 1992 ECAC champions at Middlebury. And yes, my dear friend, Tommy Thomsen, All-American goalie and captain of his University of Pennsylvania team and legendary coach at Denison. The magic, the elixir of this family lacrosse legacy is found at Camp Deerwood on Squam Lake, right next to Holderness. Since 1944, Camp Deerwood, the Thomsen family-run boys' camp, where the counselors from Gilman, Princeton, Dennis, and Middlebury played lacrosse on the upper field every Sunday evening for probably 7 decades. This was the heartbed of Jeff's lacrosse love and experience. The love of the game that Jeff brought with him to Middlebury carries on, and it is the core of the Middlebury lacrosse tradition. Jeff, welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Jim. I want to thank everybody here for I better follow the script, otherwise I'll get lost pretty quickly, I think. I'm honored and humbled to be up here to make a speech for induction to the Hall of Fame. Also want to congratulate everybody else who is up here. So many legends, so many I had heard about from my teammates, some who I had seen. But there are many people up here that I had not known about that did not have their stories get broadcasted. And so it's fun to hear stories of what came on, what came before us, what came after. I'm also proud to represent my teammates and coaches in a great tradition of lacrosse in Middlebury. There are 3 national championships in the early 2000s, a regular entrant to the NCAAs. It's great to show that lacrosse is big and growing in New England, and that there's quality lacrosse up here, and especially quality coaching shown by Coach Grube and Coach Quinn and Coach Campbell up here, who's up here right now. I'll get back to them later. But it's just not lacrosse players, but it's all the athletes at Middlebury that set the tone of competitiveness and quality that made Middlebury a desirable destination, right? Even if it did not result in a trip to the NCAAs. The pursuit of excellence, both on the field and in the classroom, helped to create an environment where the important success was found in the process and not necessarily in the record. A couple people I want to thank my mom and dad. My dad coached at Denison, as Jim was saying. They were friends, got to know each other at conventions, worked together. I got used to be a ball boy for my dad, grew up went to practices, hung out in the gym, very similar to what we have here right now. That unlimited access to my heroes made me want to one day play lacrosse in college. My parents gave me all kinds of opportunities. Many I took for granted, and they let me choose the direction I wanted to go, especially choosing colleges. I thought I had my own. I chose Middlebury, but I think my dad really wanted me to go here so I could play for Jim. And my dad also spray painted a goal on the wall outside of our house between my bedroom and my brother Peter's bedroom. Spray painted a little line and boarded up the windows with plywood, and we'd go out there and shoot, and the plywood was supposed to protect the windows, and most of the time it did. A few times it didn't. The aluminum siding got mashed down pretty good. We never broke their window that was right above ours, so that's a miracle in itself. But we used to go out there all the time. So, but the big thing was, the other thing was my dad let me go to Wayta High School, where I was able to play high school lacrosse at the Holderness School, which is very, very, very good school. First time to play real organized lacrosse was there my senior year. And it was also my introduction to finding out a little bit about Middlebury College. The big thing was, it was during the time when I was at Holderness School. My parents never got to see. My dad was coaching. My parents were out in Ohio. And so, but the best bit of advice I got from my high school career was when my dad saw a picture of me during a timeout with 2 other attackmen and the coach at the time, and the other 2 attackmen are looking right up at the coach, right in the eyes, and I'm kind of looking down, at the ground, my dad looked at that, and he was pretty upset, and I could tell right away. And he said, "Always look at your coach during a timeout." And I hope I did that for you, Jim. After that, I tried to, but that picture has been up in the kitchen in our house for a number of years, so it never let me forget that. So that was a good lesson. Hopefully, we'll all learn. So my brother Peter, little brothers should always look up to their older brothers. And it was that way for me. Peter played, so I wanted to play. He wanted someone to shoot on one time, so I donned the goalie equipment, and my dad was a goalie, and so I thought, okay, this will be good. And so I got shot on all the time. And then he went away to school, and I said, nobody's, I don't have to be shot on anymore, so I'd rather be the shooter than be shot at. So that was good for everybody all the way around. So. The other people I want to thank are my holderness coaches, which also, as you'll see, is a big Middlebury theme. Fred Beams, Middlebury grad of '66, played a North-South game. They wrote up, there's a little book, and they talk about Fred Beams scoring a goal from 30 yards out. This is back in 1966, and their sticks were the wooden sticks that are probably 5 times more than they do now. So it's pretty impressive right there. Will Graham, also a Middlebury grad of '76, was my assistant coach. And then John Boynton, a longtime friend of my dad's, was the assistant coach who I was not looking at, but I insist I was listening to at the time. So the other one I want to talk about, and I'll get to Jim later, is Bob Ritter. I want to thank him for quite a bit. First got to know him when I was a senior in high school, played against him when he was the Baby Bulls, and he and Bo Coash and Frankie Albanese and those guys crushed us, little Holderness School guys. That my senior year, but it worked out well in the end. He was captain my junior year. He was assistant coach my senior year, and I got to co-coach with him and learn how to make his goulash. So if anybody wants a good goulash, talk to Rid about that. It's a Wachusett special. But talking about the moonshot right here is I found out what a good friend that Bobby is and a good coach he was. Is I was working on this moonshot way back when, and I thought I had it down. And so I said, Rhett, you got to look at this, you got to look at this. So he's standing beside the goal, and the idea is to make it look like you're shooting really hard down low, and the ball floats out, and everything's good, and the goalie goes down, the ball floats over the top. Unfortunately, the ball got stuck in the netting, and it hit Rhett right in the jaw. And he didn't even flinch, and I think it was a pretty hard shot, right? And it was got him right in the jaw. He just kind of looked at me and kind of just shook his head, and I was lucky on that one. I got him pretty good. And then the other ones I want to thank are the seniors. My freshman year, I got really lucky. I had a great team. Actually, I had great teammates all 4 years. But senior year, they really set the tone. Eric Kemp, you heard about him. First team All-American. Paul Shafley, very good goalie. Andy Nessler, unfortunately those three were going to come, couldn't make it today. But Nessler, still remember this day, giving my first point ever was an assist to Andy, and that just made me excited. I got back for the next face-off, and I had sewing machine legs, probably more than I do right now, which is hard to believe, but it was pretty exciting to be involved. But it really made me feel welcome. It really made us first-year players, freshmen, feel a part of the team. It wasn't just the seniors. It was all those guys. It was Ritt and Coash and everybody above them. It was a great theme throughout. They made everybody feel like they were part and could contribute, and that really made it easy for me. Roger Nicholas, Jim Manning, they're very good attackmen. They demanded all the double teams, and they were able to, if they had to double those guys, and usually I was wide open, so that made things pretty easy for me. I want to thank a lot of guys, my teammates, Paul Dennison, Steve Emerson, Spiro Ork, Jeff Scanlon, Roy Giruso over there, who I think you guys have seen for a few years running up and down the sidelines, and fortunately we'll be here a few more years, so a lot of fun there. What I really want to do is thank Jim Grube for everything that he did, for his encouragement for me to go to Middlebury, his on-field coaching, believing I could play, and the culture that everyone is important to the team. It was his insistence that the sum was better than the parts. They had to work hard for the guy sitting next to you, but also not to take yourself too seriously, and that you can have fun and still be successful. His theme of everyone is important, extended to those not on the field as well. His friendship with Peter Cohen was a prime example of how important anyone can be. But I also want to thank him for being a friend of my mom and dad. When I get asked what it was like to play lacrosse in college, I think more about the people and coaches than I do about specific games. Practice all kinds of weather, all kinds of surfaces. Spring in Vermont will make you do that. We had fun on our spring trips, southern spring trips to Hartford, Connecticut. We had a lot of success. We also had a sense of belonging to a team, a community, something that was shared amongst the team, and Jim Grube was instrumental for that, for our program, for our teams. We look forward to practices. It was as much about being part of the group as competing and preparing for the game. I hope my daughters will get the same kind of experience with their own programs in the future. The thing that was great about the coaching and how important all the coaching was and what they did, Jim never played lacrosse, yet incredibly successful coaching career. Some of the things that were funny about it, there used to be clinics down in Miami, Florida. We would went down with John Burchard, would drive down, picked up Desmond Hussey, and we'd pick people up along the way. And Desmond was excited when he first saw his first palm tree ever. And then he did his Rodney Dangerfield. If anybody remembers Desmond, did his Rodney Dangerfield. He got kicked out of a ground round down there. But at that clinic, there was a guy named Richard Moran who won a couple national championships, coached at Cornell for a number of years, very slick-talking Irish guy, excellent coach, knew everybody, knew everything. And so he was leading this one drill, and he had Jim grab a stick and throwing with us. I wanted to throw and demonstrate throwing right here, and Jim's first throw went about 10 feet over top of Richie's stick, and so Jim kind of pretended it was a pocket, and then got the ball again and threw it, right at Richie's feet the next time. And so Richie got another kid to go out there to demonstrate. And he did not know how to, the catching and throwing, but he knew the X's and O's. He knew people, he knew how to motivate. He knew how to create a team atmosphere, and that's what he did such a great job with. And that's what he did with Aaron, who, when he got the job, a lot of people were questioning how come we got Aaron. He's never played. He never played the game. I said, you wait, watch, listen. And he's by far the best clinician I've ever witnessed in any kind of clinic. There's been a national ones all over the place. He knows by far more about lacrosse than any of the other supposedly big shots. So these are the type of people that set the tone for Middlebury athletics, which I was fortunate enough to be a part of, and we're all fortunate enough to be part of right now. But I really want to thank Jim for everything, for his friendship and his trust throughout the years. So thank you, Jim.
It is now my honor to invite to the stage Terry Aldrich and Karen von Berg Noyes.